Hey everyone, I am your astrologer Brittany with Horoscope.com. Here are 3 things you need to know in order to make today, Monday, January 14th, 2019, a success. Now the first thing I want to talk about is going to be right here where the moon is. Now the moon at the beginning of the day is going to be in the sign of Aries, even though the moon in this chart right now is in the sign of Taurus. When the moon's in Aries, it brings our attention to doing things, acting, initiating, making things happen, especially things that are close to us as individuals. Now, what we've got going on very, very early this morning, perhaps while many of us are sleeping, is this moon in Aries making a square over here to the sun in Capricorn. What this makes is a first quarter moon. First quarter moons are characterized by the same thing almost the sign of Aries is characterized by, doing and acting. So at this time, what we could feel is a big boost of energy here to get things done, to be productive the best that we can, even if there are some things going on astrologically that might make it a little bit harder for us to be productive in the way that we like. Okay, so that's what's going on there. Shortly after that happens, now as we move throughout the day and start to wake up, this moon in Aries is then going to make a square over here to the nodal axis. We've got the north node over here in Cancer and the south node in Capricorn. When a planet squares the nodal axis, what it can bring here is a huge need to do this thing. Sometimes when the planet squares the nodal axis, we don't want to do it, we forget to do it, we think we've already done it enough, but we really do have to focus on this area. The thing that we have to focus on today and make sure that we do not skip over is really trying to get things done the best that it is that we can, and to tie up some, I don't even know if tie up some things, but to do the things that are important to us that we need to do to feel better and not necessarily to everyone else, since this is the sign of Aries. Okay, if you can do that, I do believe you are going to feel much better, because a few hours after that occurs now, as we're getting up after breakfast, moving around, this moon then is going to come into a conjunction with Uranus and Aries. And what that could bring perhaps are feelings of freedom, liberation, maybe because you got some important work out of the way that you needed to do that's been weighing on you. Maybe because you got a few things done, even if you didn't get everything done, maybe you start to feel much, much better as you move throughout the morning into the afternoon. If that's not the case, perhaps then something unexpected or sudden comes up. I do believe that this will be a good thing, perhaps, because it is a conjunction, maybe a little bit more positive than it could be otherwise, even if it is a little bit jarring what happens. Okay, a few hours after that now, as we're moving a little bit after lunchtime, this moon then is going to leave Aries and move here into Taurus, where you see it in this chart. When the moon's in Taurus, it then brings our attention to stability, security, trying to take all these crazy, unexpected things that have happened earlier in the day, or take all these things that we've been doing to try to make plans and make things happen. And we really try now, when the moon moves into Taurus, to stabilize all that, to scale things back a bit so that we can feel more secure and more confident with what is going on. What also comes into focus when the moon is in Taurus is our finances, too, making sure our finances are taken care of as well, and using more of our gifts and skills and talents to sustain some of the things that we have then initiated. All right, so that is what is going on today. Maybe my first thing I want to say is try your best to take care of some things that it is that you need to take care of to feel better about your life and where it's going. Because if you can do that, even if it's a little bit and not a lot with some of the things going on, I think it's going to help you to feel more free as we move throughout the day. Now, the second thing I want to talk about, perhaps I'll go where... maybe I'll go here. Jupiter in a square with Neptune coming into, I think it came into it yesterday, but it's going to be here for a while. It's going to make this square for a few times this year. It's a major astrological alignment happening here. It does not happen too often, especially not in these signs. So I think this is a positive aspect. I think this can help us really to understand better what is going on deep inside us, what our spirit and what our soul needs in order to feel more at peace with our lives and more excited about what is to come in the future. So I like this a lot. Even if the things aren't necessarily manifesting outwardly in the way that we want them to, as we're doing things, I do believe there is a lot lot going on inside us spiritually that is very, very beautiful if you quiet yourself and quiet your senses enough to listen to what's going on inside you, and then to act in accordance with your spiritual or with your personal truth. To me, this is giving us a huge ability with this alignment to start to create a life that is more true to you and more authentic to you than ever before, and that is a true joy to live in, even if we're still trying to figure out how exactly we need to create this thing that we're starting to sense and feel on the inside. Now, the third and last thing I want to talk about, maybe I'll go here to the sun inching closer to the south node. There's just a lot of stuff going on over here in Capricorn. If you can see all that, that to me is actually a little bit of a challenge here happening. And so what this can bring this week are feelings of being held back, are things from the past coming up. Maybe there could be conversations with other people or conversations with ourselves that are a little bit difficult, okay? And it's kind of interesting that we've got this happening, because it's like, again, things on the surface are kind of challenging going on. Things are frustrating, but things deep down inside us, I think, are actually really beautiful, beginning to blossom and bloom, and to just come out of us in a more positive and exciting way, even if it is going to take time. So that's probably the third message I can leave with you. Sure, there are some good things going on here. There is a big push for you to create a life that you feel is better for you and to take steps in a more positive direction. However, fully creating that life and stepping into it is going to take some more time, and I think needing to pace yourself as this happens, to not be afraid to go back to old things, to get over them or to understand them better, so that it is that you can move forward. And I think if you can allow yourself to go back, and if you stop pushing so hard to do things and to kind of follow like I don't know if the path of least resistance is the right thing to say, but if you can kind of follow your intuition and what your intuition is telling you, and not try to push too hard to do things too soon, then I think you're going to be much, much better off by the end of this week and by the time some of these alignments pass. So that is your daily planetary forecast for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you tomorrow.